Hello. So I thought I would talk about a couple of builds today because they're kind of short and self-explanatory. So I'm gonna show one of my new favorite support builds that I've been running. Um, it's a healer hybrid build. You're a skill tier 5 with 1.5 million armor. I went with equalizer chest of a roll crit with a skill tier on it, so it gives you perfect obliterate. Then I'm running a Walker Harris piece, roll crit with a skill tier on it with a crit chance mod. And I'm running Ninja Bike backpack with a crit chance mod. I went with Death Grips just for the incoming repairs. And I don't want to farm 511 pieces to get a crit roll. And the armor on kill isn't terrible. It's actually pretty helpful. But the other gloves that I've been testing are Yahl gloves rolled crit. It's a little bit more damage and it gives you a little bit of Hasbro, which helps out. I kind of, I don't know. It's hard to tell which ones I prefer more. The other ones keep you alive a little bit better because they give you a lot more survivability, but these ones give you that extra damage. And then I went with Emperor's Guard knee pads, and you take full advantage of all of it with the skill duration and 35% repair skills. Um, and the armor regen helps out a little bit for your own healing, right? And I went with the Picaro's holster just so I can have skill haste, skill tier, well, roll crit damage. And I run it with capacitor because that's the best option for hybrid builds. You can do some really good damage with this build.
Incoming
You'll
backup request.
you'll hit really hard. The biggest numbers I got was about like 200 on crits to the head and usually about 180 to the chest when you're at full obliterate stacks. The Restorer Hive will heal PvP for 158,000, and the Reinforcer Hive heals for 433,000 on the initial burst and 86,000 whenever they stay in the cloud. It's not like the craziest amount of healing you could ever get in a build, right? But I kind of just designed it so that you can
You almost at
pretty
extraction
much
zone.
give your teammates like 3% armor regen so that they can survive better in fights. It supports the armor regen builds a lot better, like your armor regen cappy builds or your bighorn builds that are headshot armor regen. But yeah, it's a fun way to support the team while still doing a really good amount of damage. The other one I wanted to show is a system corruption build. It's a little bit oddball, and I've been having a lot of fun testing it. So it is a 100% pulse resist build um, with two skill tiers, two blue cores, and two red cores. And it all it really is an ambush build. You kind of just like hide under your decoy all the time. That's why I went with technician so that I could have the artificer hive. If you don't know what it does, all it really does is when you drop it, it will periodically hit your skill with a buff amount, and all it does is just make it last longer. Is all it really does. And you have 20 charges on that thing, so it will last through whole team fights. And if you don't know what system corruption does, it just replaces your armor kit with an infinite use ability on a 20-second cooldown that repairs 20% armor and 50% bonus armor and hides your nameplate for 5 seconds, and then increase total weapon damage by 2% per 5% bonus armor gained up to 20%. The reason that you run the backpack is because it turns that bonus armor gain from 50% to 100%. And if you've never played System Corruption before, I know it says instant use, but that's not what it is. If you want to use your armor kit for this ability, you actually have to hold down your armor kit button in order to get this thing to go off, which is kind of annoying. I wish they'd fix that so you could just tap the button and then it's actually instant ability. But yeah, it's pretty fun. You get 15% armor on kill with disrupt resist and pulse resist at 40%. And you can get some ridiculous numbers on this version of the build. you get like over 220k damage when you pop your kit to jump somebody, and it's really funny. Oh, I went with a Seska Unbreakable chest just to give myself extra crit chance. Uh, and Unbreakable helps you stay alive when you're running System Corruption. And it's Coyote's Mask. And you're always going to be playing within 15 meters, so you get 25% critical hit damage. So the stats are 51 crit chance and 145.6 crit damage. And that's because I haven't maxed out the rolls on my pieces yet. I've just been messing around with this, so I didn't feel the need to max out the rolls yet. But yeah, ton of fun. Not the best build, but a ton of fun. Just running around as a little ghost and no one knowing where you are. The other version that is the same idea but lives a little bit better and has more consistent damage output is this version, which is the same idea. You're 100% pulse resist, but you're running Vigilance Unbreakable with 3 Yahl pieces. I went with 2. This is also a salvo holster and a unit always backpack rolled Vigilance. But yeah, I went with 2 yellows and 2 reds and 2 blues. The exact same stat distribution as the last one. So you got 1.1 million armor. And this one has a little bit less crit chance, but a lot more crit damage. You could always put another crit chance mod on there if you really wanted to, but I find being at 50% critical hit chance or about there is good enough for this build because you hit so hard and absolutely no one knows where you are. And it's a ton of fun. But yeah, these are the builds that I've been rocking for, I don't know, probably like the last couple of weeks, and highly recommend trying them out. But in the meantime, have a wonderful day.